I recently left Mexico for a short trip to Dubai via the Cancun airport and had trouble finding answers to my questions, like if I needed to pay a tourist tax to leave the country. In today's video, I'll answer this as well as any other questions that you may have so that you are completely prepared for your flight out of Cancun. The first thing to know if you're flying out of Cancun Airport is that you need to arrive early, at least 3 hours before your international flight. Due to country requirements for vaccination, COVID test results, visas, and onward tickets, you probably will not be able to receive your boarding pass online in advance and will need to check in with an airline representative when you arrive at the airport. Keep in mind that every other passenger on your flight is in the same situation, so whether or not you have a bag to check, you need to get into this lineup to speak with the representative in order to receive your boarding pass. So giving yourself at least 3 hours to get through both of these lineups is going to save you a lot of stress. It's also good to know that as soon as you arrive at the airport and get out of your airport taxi, there are going to be many people ready and willing to carry your bags. If you do not want them to carry your luggage to the door in exchange for a tip, you need to be firm. You need to hang on to your bags and say no. They are not just being friendly and may not even return your bag until the tip has been paid. So either have $1 or $2 ready to pay as a tip or hang on to your bags and carry them yourself. You also can enter the airport without showing your ticket, proof of vaccination, or a negative COVID test. You do, however, need to be wearing a mask, cloth or medical, properly fitted over your nose and your mouth. Wearing a medical or cloth mask properly over your mouth and nose was enforced upon entering the airport and upon boarding the plane, but not so much anywhere else in the airport. I found, especially after I passed the security gates, many people were wearing their masks improperly, just had them down around their chin, and some were not even wearing a mask at all. It really wasn't being enforced. Once you arrive at the airport, you're not only going to need to speak with an airline representative to get your boarding pass, but you will also need to hand over your Mexico Visitor's Visa, also known as your FMM. If you don't know what this is, check your passport, as it was likely slipped into the pages on your arrival in Mexico. This is the small stamped half of a full form that you filled out on the plane when you arrived in Mexico. If you did lose your FMM, you will need to visit the immigration office at the airport, fill out a few forms, and pay a fee of $40 to $50. It's not that big of a deal, and you will be guided through the process, but it is going to take some extra time. In addition to providing the airline representative with your FMM upon check-in, you may need to show them your visa, onward ticket, COVID test results, proof of vaccination, or anything else that is needed for you to enter your destination country, and, this is important, anything that is needed for you to enter the country that you are transiting. For example, I was flying from Cancun to Frankfurt to Dubai. If Frankfurt required passengers to show a negative COVID test result to enter the country, I would have needed to take a COVID test before boarding the flight, even though I was only spending 2 hours in Frankfurt. If you find out that you actually do need a COVID test in order to board your flight, there is a COVID testing center available at the Cancun airport before you go through security. Do not rely on this testing center. It is first come, first serve, and no appointments can be made in advance. Antigen tests can give you a result in an hour, but PCR tests are going to take at least 1 full day. I'll link to the most up-to-date information on the prices for the PCR and antigen tests at the Cancun airport below, as well as their hours of operation. There are so many places around town in Cancun for you to have this test done before you arrive at the airport, and you can also speak with your hotel, as they can likely arrange it for you as well. Let us know down in the comments if you needed proof of vaccination or a negative test to board the last flight that you took. I also read online that a departure tax was introduced in 2021 for all visitors departing from the Cancun airport. More specifically, all international visitors to the state of Quintana Roo, which includes Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and Tulum, must pay a new tourist tax effective April 1st, 2021. The new fee, called Visit Tax, will cost roughly $11 per visitor and must be paid before boarding your departure flight. There are many websites online that are scam websites claiming you can pay for this tax in advance so that when you arrive at the airport, everything is already done for you. Even if you are 100% certain that you have found the correct government Visit Tax website to pay this fee in advance, I highly recommend that you don't. Many airlines include this fee in the ticket price already, so you have already paid for it. what I would do instead of paying for it in advance, I arrived at the Cancun airport with 11 USD in cash ready to go in case I was asked for this departure fee. It turns out that it was in fact included in my airline ticket and I was never asked for it, it was never brought up. I also didn't see anyone else paying it. So I would recommend in your case, do not pay for it online as you may have already paid it in your ticket or you may be on a scam website, but do come prepared at the airport with the cash in hand in the case that you are asked to pay the fee. And once you have checked in with an airline representative, shown them all your documentation, handed over your FMM, and received your boarding pass, you are ready to head through security. Now, the security lineup may be very long, but the good news here is that when you are departing from the Cancun airport, I personally found the security to be rather chill. I was able to keep my liquids and electronics, with the exception of my laptop, in my backpack to go through the scanner. I also did not have to take off my sweater or my shoes. I also realized after I had gone through security that I had accidentally smuggled a full bottle of water through the security scanner. This was obviously over the liquid limits, but it was not flagged. Knowing this, if I had an expensive sunscreen with me that was perhaps slightly over the liquid limit, I would probably just keep it in my bag and see if I could get away with it. And I'm not recommending that you do this, I'm simply sharing my experience. In addition to knowing what to expect from the check-in process and the security line, it's also nice to know what to expect in terms of amenities once you have gone through security and you have some time to wait before your flight. In the international terminal, I found a decent food court, currency exchange services, and many touristy convenience stores. Something you could consider if you do have any leftover pesos is instead of going to the currency exchange counter and exchanging it to your home currency, you could simply load the leftover pesos onto a Starbucks gift card, which you could then use anywhere around the world. There's a Starbucks both as you enter the airport as well as once you have gone through security. There was also Wi-Fi for web surfing and social media, but it was not powerful enough for you to download things like TV shows or podcasts, so definitely do this before you leave your hotel. There were also many places to plug in and charge your devices, but something that I did not see were any of those water bottle refill stations. My favorite way to prepare for any airport experience is to use the free website Sleeping in Airports that has a Cancun airport guide for you with a list of all the restaurants, amenities, and things you can look out for. You may also want to consider purchasing food and drinks before your flight to bring onto the plane with you. Cancun is considered a sun destination, so even some of these long-haul international flights are not going to be providing you with free drinks and free food, or perhaps the food is not going to be what you would expect from a long-haul international flight. I was definitely disappointed by the food on my long-haul flight from Cancun to Frankfurt. Remember that you are allowed to carry whatever food and drinks you purchase at the airport onto the plane with you once you have passed through security. There is no liquid limit, and this is not going to count towards your carry-on allowance. Pleasantly surprised by the experience departing from the Cancun airport. Lineups were long, but things were rather organized and just kept moving along. Let us know down in the comments what your experience was like leaving Cancun. Then I also hope you'll subscribe and join us back here for more travel hacks and tips next week. Bye!